Well, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to welcome you in to this online workshop. We're going to foster your soul connection. You know, the holiday season is winding down. A lot of times that creates a feeling of letdown or nothing to look forward to. Or we can feel it right now, but we're not able to maintain and sustain that soul connection. And so I wanted to give you, it'll be less than an hour just to really focus in and learn the tools to feel connected to your soul all year round. This magical feeling we get during the holidays can be sustained and maintained. So let's get started with ReSOULution. Forget New Year's resolutions. They're like the least helpful thing on planet Earth. Let's make a ReSOULution, which is feeling authentic, alive, connected, like there's something more each and every day of the week. I'm going to give you today 3 tools to nourish that soul connection within, to nourish it, to help it flourish, because I want you to feel that magical feeling of the holidays all year long. So I want to show you some pictures of things that create feelings of aliveness in many of us. So I'm going to put up a couple different variety of pictures, see which one you resonate with. But that feeling of Christmas, there more than 90% of the United States celebrates Christmas. Many of you celebrate the other season of light holidays like Hanukkah. But Christmas has this very specific feeling to it. For you, if you're religious, it might be the feeling of Christ, this amazing teacher, mystic, comes to planet Earth to tell us all we're all God's children. For you, it might be the feeling of a lit up Christmas tree and running down the stairs and opening presents, being with family, doing special traditions, but it creates this feeling of us of like this light filled, light-hearted, like magical feeling inside. Or you might get that feeling when you walk on the beach or the ocean. Like this feeling of, wow, look at how vast this ocean is. Look at how beautiful this planet is that I'm living on. And you feel like something light up or fire up inside of you. Maybe it's, I was recently in Disneyland with my husband and some of our family, and walking down Main Street, the castle was all lit up with lights, and Main Street was all lit up with lights and wreaths. And I just get this feeling of like, oh, I love this. Just that feeling inside of you. Or that feeling when you're on a roller coaster or you're hiking to the top of the mountain and you can just actually feel your cells come alive, like this is me living today. And yet, here's the problem. If I'm not on the beach or it's not Christmas time or I'm not on vacation, how do I create that feeling inside of me that there's more, that this is a beautiful place? How do I create those feelings of expansion and joy and freedom and love more and more often? Henry David Thoreau, uh, many of you will recognize that name, was I think, a mystic in his own right, but had that same question. How do you, and these are my words, not his, but how do I feel alive, not just on Christmas or my birthday or on a roller coaster, but like live with that sense of aliveness? And Thoreau decided to do an experiment with that, an experiment with life. And he said, I am going to go into the woods. Basically, he lived right on the edge of a pond called Walden. Walden's pretty big. It's more of a lake, but Walden Pond. And he lives in this little shack for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. And he says in this, and I'll show you, read it from the sign right here. I went to the woods because I wish to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not discover when I came to die that I had not really lived. So Thoreau goes to do this experiment with life. This quote is shortened on this sign in the woods, but one of the things that Thoreau said within this longer quote is, I wanted to suck the marrow out of life. Like, I don't want to just do the laundry, the to-do list, the freaking same old, same old. I want to actually live every day with like this sense of aliveness. Now, he didn't live like a recluse or anything, even though he went into the woods to do this experiment, lived in a little shack. He was like the perpetual bachelor. He would go into town, get some drinks in him. His mom literally did his laundry on Sundays. And he and his brother worked together. They were surveyors of the land. But during this time, he was doing this exploration of what it feels like to like really suck the marrow out of life. And thank God Thoreau had the wisdom to do that experiment when he did, because he died at age 44. Not one of us knows how much time we have. Let me just show you this. This is like my favorite reminder for myself. This is going to go. Time, it goes. It goes whether we're consciously living it with aliveness or not. And the thing that happens most when people get to their deathbed is they say, I wish I would have. I wish I would have seen that none of this stuff I was actually worrying about or thinking about was important. And I wish I would have lived. And the thing about life is not one of us knows how much of this we have left. For some of us, it's this. We're going to vision that it's this, that our death date is somewhere far out in the future, but we don't know. And so I celebrate you for watching this today. You're still in kind of a holiday week, I'm sure. And you decided to invest in this soul part of you, this part of you that wants to grow and wants to express and wants to emerge. And I celebrate you for that, because today we're going to do the same experiment together that Thoreau did. How do I live in a way that I know when my time comes, I've really, really lived? Now, I have a very special gift for you. I have been so personally into the idea of fostering soul connection and the tools that it takes and deeply studying it. And I've come up with what I believe is just a really magical gift for you at the end of this video. So stay tuned, and I just want you to know that. For those of you who don't know me or maybe watching something from us for the first time, my name is Lauren Brolier Newton. I am the founder and CEO of Soul Savvy, which is a personal development company with the mission of helping you ignite the fire of a dream inside of your heart, something you want to do with this lifetime. And my goal is always to help you discover that you're far more than you've known yourself to be. And over the course of I was going to say my tenure as CEO of Soul Savvy, but I'm the founder, so I'm the one and only CEO of all time. But through the course of Soul Savvy, I've helped thousands and thousands of people create and live lives they love living. But it wasn't always that way for me. I love this picture of myself. Not because I think I look super good or anything like that. You might look at me in this picture and go, wow, nice looking girl. I don't know what you think. Maybe you think, oh, she's terrible. I don't know. But when I look at this picture, I see myself as, just a normal, pretty girl. All right. And what I also love about this picture, though, is you can see that the light of life is not in me in that picture. I look tired. I look worn out. I look just sad. And I was sad that day. It was December 2017, not that long ago, if you really think about it. And I had just found out that my husband was living a double life. But I got dressed up and I went out anyway because it was my dad's birthday. And even though I was like so crushed inside and so like, how is this happening to me? I wanted to celebrate my dad's birthday. So I got dressed up and I put on a happy face and I went and celebrated. That's part of the other reason why I love this picture, because it's really a crossroads in my life. I'd been living for a long time wanting to be connected to my soul, wanting to know what's right for me, wanting to feel that sense of aliveness. And I had all the books. I mean, most of the books on this shelf I had for years. And I meditated and I did yoga and I did all that stuff. And still I felt very much alone, didn't trust myself, felt like I wasn't worthy. I mean, part of me, when my husband left and he told me all the things that were wrong with me, I agreed with him in great part. There was always a paradigm or a pattern that I saw with myself and other people in my community. That ones of us who were spiritual or seeking, like, oh, let's do tarot cards, or oh, let's go to church, or oh, let's meditate, let's do yoga, let's read all these personal development books. That the feeling of being connected to the soul would last for during the yoga class, maybe if you could get to that point, or during the meditation, but then the rest of the day it was fleeting and our results remain the same. And it's like at this point in my life, when my life came to a crashing halt, I was like, there has to be a way to stay connected to that part of you that wants to grow, that knows what's right for you, and not keep going back and reverting to not trusting yourself and this fear and this worry and does he like me and does she like me? Like, there has to be a better way. And through this sort of rebirth I went through myself, I worked with a mentor. I studied with the leaders in the field of soul connection and transformation, and I turned my life completely around. And I founded Soul Savvy, a company that has done more than $1.5 million in revenue. I've fallen in love again. I have amazing people in my life, but most importantly, Most of my days are spent with a deep knowing that I'm connected to something so much greater and that I have a soul that's more than this lifetime. And I want that for you too. Now, why do I tell you the results? I once had someone watch a webinar like, I don't like how Lauren talks about the money she makes or whatever, because we're in a physical world. And in a physical world, there are things that all of us, if we're honest with ourselves, want. We want to be able to help others. We want to live the kind of lifestyle we want to live. We want to experience travel and amazing moments and times with our family. And so I share it with you because not one of us, especially women, should be ashamed of wanting more. And I want to tell you something. You actually can't stop yourself from wanting more. You can cognitively tell yourself you don't want anything more than what you have, but you're living in an ever expanding, ever outward growing universe. Every single living thing on this planet wants more. It's what will push a blade of grass through cement to feel its own aliveness. There's a great quote in the ancient text, the Talmud, which says, "Over every blade of grass is an angel leaning over it, whispering, grow, grow, grow." So I want that for you. And I want to be a model of someone who's not afraid to say what I want and be connected to my soul at the same time. And that's why we call this company Soul Savvy. So let's foster this soul connection in you. You're in the right place if you can feel your soul connection at certain times, but it's fleeting. Like me, I feel it in moments, but I can't sustain it or maintain it. You're in the right place if you just know there's more for you. You get glimpses of it. You're not even sure what that is, but you'd love to discover it and put it into words and to have that feeling inside of you more often. You're in the right place if you kind of feel down after the holidays and you wish that somehow that feeling of love, light, magic, possibilities could extend all year long. And you're in the right places. You would love to begin the new year with faith, belief, and hope that life is more than just to-do lists, work, and traffic. And I'm here to tell you it is. And I'll say you're also in the right place if you just love learning about this stuff. In fact, you're in good company because I love learning more about who I am. So we're going to journal for a second. Why does this even matter to you? Why watch this webinar? Why not just go binge watch something on Netflix? Like, why do this? So I want you to journal answering this question. We're going to do a couple different journal activities throughout this, and I'm going to tell you, don't skip out on this part. Don't be like, oh, fast forward through the journaling. I wish I could fast forward through this. This is me helping you foster that soul connection in you. And I would never put up busy work or some sort of like filler time in a workshop like this. This question is going to help you awaken that soul within. And I'm going to answer with you. I'm going to do it with you. So the question is, if I truly felt connected to my soul, and whatever that means to you, God, higher power, infinite spirit, if I truly felt connected to that, what would happen in my life? So go ahead and journal that. I'm going to give you some music to journal by, and we'll do this for 1 minute. Go. I'm doing it with you. Take 10 more seconds. All right. I don't want to stop writing. Doesn't it feel good to ask yourself a question that's expansive and expands your soul? All right. We'll have more journaling opportunities as we go. So I asked a community that I'm a part of this same question. Like, if you really felt connected to your soul, what would happen for you? And here's some of the answers we got. And see these little black squiggles? This is not intentional. This is me not really knowing technology. So forgive me, but I wanted to black out the people's names. I didn't know how to do it. So just laugh with me as I go through this next part with you. But if I truly felt connected to my soul, what would happen in my life? Edna said, I would walk with trust that I have the answers, all the answers, and the wisdom available to grow as a person. All trust, no fear. I'm totally with Edna. I'm showing you these to feel connected, like other people are feeling what you're feeling, are going through what you're going through. Denise said, I would be able to make decisions with more confidence. I would feel more secure in relationships and in my place in the world. I would have more assurance that everything will work out for my good, no matter what it may look like until then. You girl, I just helped myself. Thanks, Lauren Brolier Newton. Denise was realizing there that just by asking the question, now there's motivation, not only to connect, but to sustain, to ask myself these questions more often. Stephanie said, I would feel more present, empowered, and at ease to joyfully express my authentic self and take actions to serve my vision from a greater state of reverence and trust. Love that. Couple more. Liz said, I find that I step forward each day with a lot more confidence when I'm connected to my soul. Yes. Inga said, I'd be decisive, confident in stepping forward without hesitation because nothing is impossible. Answering this makes me shift. Lauren Brolier Newton, thank you for asking. Notice this, you guys. Notice what happens inside of you. When you just simply had a thought, which was, I'm gonna ask myself this question, and it shifts you. Meg says, I bless more people with my gifts, knowing that my inner being always has my back. So maybe it's actually you, if you're connected to your soul, you'd be more willing to be of service. And then Dana said, I absolutely know I would experience more joy on a continual basis, as joy and abundance are on the same frequency. I would also experience the truth that abundance is everywhere present within me and around me. So whatever you came up with, it's probably similar to what these ladies came up with here. I don't know why any of my guys didn't answer the question. This was a group with guys in it too, but thank you to the ladies for answering it. But just notice like how much you really do know what would happen with you if you connected. It's amazing, actually. So that takes me to tool number 1. I promised you 3 tools for soul connection. Notice for expansion and notice for contraction. Tool number 1, notice for expansion, notice for contraction. Just in the 10, 20 minutes, I don't know how long we've been going so far, that you've been on this webinar, you have felt inside of you, if you're noticing, some feelings of expansion, some feelings of more. Interesting. Because as humans in a free will and free choice universe, the universe, God, is not controlling you by puppet strings. This is a free choice, free will universe of creation. And so you get to choose anything you want. You get to choose towards soul, towards spirit. You get to choose toward fear. All of us can see that. If you grew up in the Christian persuasion, you know you can turn toward God, expansion, Christ, that consciousness, or you can turn toward, quote unquote, the devil, fear, worry, not good enough, not created in God's image. You know this actually. But maybe what you haven't known and what they didn't teach us in school, even if you went to a religious school, I went to religious after school, and they never told me how I could notice when I'm on track and when I'm off track in my own body. So here are some signs. Your soul speaks to you through the way you feel in your body. It's a perfectly designed system, this human body that we're living in. When you're going toward God, toward soul, toward spirit, toward this infinite universe, toward expansion, you will feel open. You'll feel warm all over. You'll feel your heart and stomach expand, like right in your gut and in your chest. You'll feel that start to open up, and you'll feel feelings like joy, hope, possibility, love, and gratitude. That's what's going to happen when you're on the right track. And when you're on the wrong track, your nervous system's going to start to feel all tight and closed off. You'll feel constricted, your stomach and chest contract, and feelings like fear, doubt, worry, shame, and distrust dominate you. So this whatever words you put to it, I'll call it God, you can call it any words you want, but this creator of the universe, this infinite intelligence, this sea of energy we're swimming in, created you in a way that when you're off track, you're going to feel it in your body. And when you're on track, you're going to feel it in your body. It's the perfect measurement system. And it's with you 24/7. You can notice it all the time. So tool number one is simply noticing when you're connected to your soul, feelings of expansion, and when you're off track. And you can't really do anything that you're not aware of. I want to tell you a story of this beautiful woman here. Her name is Deb. I met her through a good friend of mine. She came to one of my workshops way back in 2018, and we started working together. And one of the things I love about Deb is she was kind of in some ways, I don't want to say opposite me, because I think in a lot of ways our hearts are very much the same. But like, I had read a million personal development books. I'd tried meditation. I'd tried yoga. I'd tried spiritual stuff. I'd tried everything. And I couldn't seem to sustain that feeling within me. Deb was the opposite. She hadn't really been on a huge spiritual journey in her life yet. Deb was just about to turn 70 actually when we started working together. And I asked her, have you ever done any personal development or spiritual work? And she said, I read a diet book once. And I just loved that, because the reason I loved it is because what happened for Deb when she started connecting to her soul through the tools that we're talking about today, and many, many other tools, because Deb and I worked in a longer course of study together, master class, kept a study together. But through some of these tools, Deb started to notice, oh, I can feel when I'm on track. I can feel when I'm expanded, and I can feel when I'm constricted. And she could see herself lightening up, and she could see herself feeling freer. And people would even say to Deb, you seem lighter. You don't seem as gruff. You seem like more expanded. And people started to notice it. And that was pretty amazing for Deb. One of the things that happened, because Deb had been living a lot of times in constriction and like, it has to be this way, and how am I ever going to afford it? And like that fear, doubt, worry mode is turning away from your soul. And when I taught Deb how to discover these kind of feelings, she started to have results easier and easier. Things just started to happen for Deb, and it was giddy for her. Like, she would call me and say, you're never going to, we'd get on our coaching calls and she'd say, you're never going to guess what happened next. And I love that. And what I love about it is when you connect to your soul in a real, authentic way, not just pretending. Some of us do all the things, read the books, do the yoga, go to church, but it doesn't actually live in us. It lives up here. We've done the action, but it hasn't gotten in us. And here's how you know if it hasn't gotten in you. It hasn't gotten in you if your results are not a reflection of the knowing. If you truly understood the concepts you were learning in church and personal development or otherwise, all of your results would be a reflection of it, and so would mine. So when someone tells me, oh, I live in Christ all the time, and then they turn around and they're bad-mouthing someone and criticizing someone, it's like, you might sometimes live in that, but you're not really reflecting what that would mean. And so when you're really truly and authentically connected to spirit, that side of your nature, your results show it. And Deb's results began to show it. Deb had been divorced for a long time, and then she was dating this guy, but she kind of knew it wasn't right, but she was afraid to leave it. But then she did. And she now is with this cute, amazing guy, Dave. And they've given me permission to share this, and I've shared it many times, and I just love them for that, because they're an inspiration to so many people. They've fallen in love. They've both been able to retire. All of this started from noticing in us when we're going towards soul, when we're going toward the other direction. Deb thought she could never afford the kind of car she wanted to buy. But when she started connecting in this way to something greater than herself, it was easy. I'll never forget the coaching call. She's like, Lauren, I walk onto this car lot. It was easier, faster, quicker than I could have ever imagined. Things will begin to shift for you when you have the authentic connection, not the I just know it up here connection, but the expansion inside is always your metering stick, your measuring stick, that you're on the right track. So we're going to really, in this journal activity, go deeply into what feels expansive to you. And by the way, there's no one size fits all. Some people love gadgets and technology. They always want like the new iPhone, the new iPad, the Apple Watch, and they feel super expanded by that. That doesn't get me going. But when I'm reading like spiritual books and studying and that, I feel expanded. I can't know for you what turns your inner light on. The infinite created all of us as completely unique beings. We're as unique as a thumbprint. So this journal activity is about tapping into you. So I would love for you to make a list. We're going to take 1 minute and you're going to make a list of 5 things, places, people, or experiences that create feelings of expansion in you. And you can't do this activity wrong. So like I love reading a book in the bathtub. I would write that down as expansive for me. I love Disneyland. I would write that down as expansive for me. I love giving my husband Cameron a hug. I'm going to write that down for me. So what are things that create expansion in you? And when they're happening, you're just like, "Ooh, I love this." Take 1 minute, write those 5 things down. Take 10 more seconds. I don't know about you, but as I'm making my list, a big smile's coming over my face. Yes. Good. We're on the right track. We're more connected to our soul now than we were 10, 15 minutes ago. Good job. All right, let's go to tool number 2. Know the difference between body and soul. This is very important. So let's do a study of this. Your body is just the conduit to your soul in this lifetime. It's the steward, it's the servant. You are much more than your body. If I asked yourself, are you just skin, flesh, and bones? You'd say no automatically. But because we're in a physical body, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, it can get confusing. So the intellect, ego, nervous system is all part of the body. It's not part of the spirit. And it has certain qualities to it. This body system is very intellect and logic driven. How are you going to pay for that? What if there's traffic? What if you do this? What if someone thinks bad about you? Oh my gosh, this could happen. How are you going to figure this out? It's very intellect and logic driven. And if you feel it within yourself, you'll feel it's very constrictive to just lean on that side of your nature. Your intellect, your logic, your nervous system, it only knows the past. It only measures if it should be afraid and worried off the past. So if you get a great idea, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to connect to my soul, I'm going to like really live into my intuition. If that hasn't been your life experience, your intellect and your logic is going to come in and be like, well, how are you going to do that? And that doesn't, and you don't know anybody that does that. If you decide, I'm going to start, a new business, it just looks at the past. And if you've never been successful at business in the past, it's going to pipe in because your body is wired for protection. Remember, your body is not your spirit. It's a steward to your spirit. So just the body itself doesn't want to die. It's afraid of dying. That's it. The body itself. And so it's this, it's always in protection mode unless you give it a different directive. Your nervous system gets scared of anything new because your nervous system is actually hardwired to alert you to anything new and anything potentially dangerous. It's so good that you know that now, because when you start to get scared, you just go, oh, this is my nervous system wiring, just letting me know I'm doing something new. That's it. It's doing its job. Good. But that doesn't mean, and in my whole lifetime, I'm never going to do something new. If that was the case, a baby would never walk. Your intellect, physical side of your nature is a terrible boss. If you let it be in the driver's seat, you'll never step into your soul. You'll never do anything that you absolutely love. And you'll be at the end of life going, why the hell did I waste all that time? The physical side of your nature is a terrible boss, but it's a faithful servant. If I give my physical side of my nature a direction, like pick up the phone and make a phone call, write a thank you card, write a vision, do this journal activity. It's a wonderful servant, but it's not the master. It's not the boss. Then I like Sonia Choquette is the one who says it's the intellect, the ego. It's like an AM radio station. It's just constantly commercials, talk radio all the time. And she says it's kind of like a barking dog. I feel like that part of my nature, not the spirit side of me, but the afraid nervous system side of me, it's very much like a barking police dog, like alert, alert, constant alert. We don't want to live into that. We want to live into the higher self, the soul, the spirit side of our nature, which is growth driven. Your soul came to planet Earth to grow, to experience life through your eyes. It's every, like I said in the beginning, every living thing wants more. A tree grows, the universe expands. That ever upward pull that the universe has, you have too. That's the spirit side of you. The higher self, the spirit, it can tap into possibility, growth, love, hope. You might even start to feel expanded as I say those words. Now, here's the thing, which is so magnificent and magical about the spirit. It's not fearful of anything because it never dies. Your spirit is the part of you that will be with you after this body lays down. It was with you before you took your first breath. That's who you really are. That pure living consciousness. Now, if you're a scientific minded person, my best friend is a very scientific minded woman. She's like, I don't know if there's anything after this life. And I'm like, of course there's something after this life. And here's how I know that for sure, like without a doubt. They always say, oh, nobody knows what happens. I don't know exactly what happens. I know what I believe, but I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that something happens after this lifetime, because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. First law of thermodynamics, it's physics. You as a being are energy. You're made up of living, breathing energy. You cannot be created or destroyed. You are going to change phases. You can do a phase change like water turns to steam, but you can't die. Not your spirit. Your body can, but not your spirit. So your spirit is not afraid of anything. It's like, yeah, let's go bungee jumping. Let's go to Disneyland. Let's go on roller coasters. Let's start a business. Screw it. Let's fall in love again. It wants to experience more life today than it did yesterday. And it's not afraid because it never dies. It is a wonderful boss. If you live your life led by spirit, you'll go on adventures. I have had, since I started living my life really from a soul part of my nature, I've had so many adventures, so much crazy stuff, so much fun, so much travel. But it does require my physical body to be a servant. Make the calls, send the emails, do the things. It's more like a satellite. Okay, let's tap in and find information. And if it had an animal personality, it would be more like the unicorn. So now you know ego versus spirit. So don't overthink this journal activity. I'm going to give you 1 minute and just describe your spirit. Don't overthink. Go. Just give it words. Give it adjectives. Describe your spirit. Beautiful job. So you actually know your spirit, don't you? It's a really, really beautiful thing. Good job. All right. So Albert Einstein put it this way: the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. In this culture of to-do lists and get here and drive there and blah, it's really, really challenging to hear from the soul part of you when there's so many other voices. This is a wonderful client of mine, Alan. He also gave me permission to share his story. Alan came to me because he was very, very successful as a real estate agent. And I gave a presentation, very much like this, a workshop. And Alan's like, I want to work with you. I want you to be my coach. And what Alan was looking for is he's like, I know there's invisible laws that govern this universe. I know there's soul and there's spirit. I'm already a successful real estate agent. At the time I met him, he was doing about $40 million in sales annually. But he said, I'm feeling like the soul part of me starving. Like I have migraine headaches every day and I'm rushing from place to place. And I'm just like constant to-do list and like constant stress. And he felt very far away and distant from the soul side of his nature. I gave him some amazing tools like I'm giving you today to connect with that greater part of him. Alan, this is not all you are. You're not just a worker bee. There's something more in you. You came to planet Earth for a reason. Like there's purpose here. And we started uncovering it and unpacking it. And one of the things that happened for Alan is not only did his health get better and everything got better and his relationships got better, his business grew from 43 million to 70 million in that year that we worked together. Now, I wasn't surprised by this because, like I said earlier, when you're truly connected, everything gets easier. You were designed to feel expansive. But Alan was surprised because in the world of business or in the world of to-do lists and newspaper articles and news and drama, you're programmed to think if you stop pushing and working hard, you're going to lose it all. But the truth is exactly the opposite. When Alan got more connected to his soul, his business almost doubled. And this was during 2020 when the pandemic was going on. Alan and I did a year together. We loved it. We put a pause on it. And he said, I'll come back if I want more spiritual work in the future. And this year he came back and he said, I need the spiritual. I want to hire you as my coach again. I don't want to live without this feeling inside of me. And I noticed myself drifting back to the old. I love telling Alan's story because he was already a successful guy. But he learned that when you connect to your soul, it can be easier, it can be faster, and it can be a lot more fun. So that takes us to soul connection tool number 3. You got to eliminate the other voices, those ego, intellect, people in your life that aren't serving your soul. Get rid of those other voices. We live in a CNN world. And I don't mean the program, I mean constantly negative news. It's coming at you all the time. The world is constantly focused. Most of the world is fear-based. So what I did this morning in preparation of giving you this wonderful workshop is I went on a local newspaper, the San Francisco Chronicle, and I just took pictures of the headlines. Look at what's constantly around you. Pack of coyotes surrounds, snatches a terrier in San Francisco. What to know about California's flu season. Family speaks as Afghan refugee shot, killed during Uber in San Francisco. Sex in the City accused of sexual assaults. And then even in the travel and parks section, California's poison oak problem is bad in the wintertime. In 20 years, it could be much, much worse. Notice how constrictive all this stuff is. And after you read it, you have to ask yourself, does that change my life for the better? This is not the only news that's going on. There's wonderful things going on all over the world right this very minute. But the whole world mostly is programmed toward fear, toward violence, toward sadness, toward drama. And you actually have a choice about whether you get involved in this or whether you say, you know what, knowing that didn't change my life for the better. Let me get interested in the things that are actually going to open me up to that greater part of me, to that spirit in me. So just know this, Earth has an atmosphere. But Pierre Desjardins also said it has a thoughtmosphere, a noosphere. And unfortunately, the dominant pattern of planet Earth right now is fear. It's a very fear-based thing, and we can feel it. So our job is to put our focus and just decide, I am not going to get interested in that. Robin Sharma says, what you focus on grows. What you concentrate on is what you will see more of in your life. So I want you to know that part of soul connection is you. It's not going to happen to you. It's not going to happen to you. God's not going to come down from the sky and say, hey, you better start focusing on this. He gave you free choice and free will. You have the choice. You have dominion. And even in the Bible, it says, God gave man dominion over all things heaven, this, spirit, thinking, and all things earth, the physical. He gave you dominion. If the word God doesn't land for you, look at how energy works in the universe. Whatever you focus on expands. You actually get to decide how connected you are. It's not going to happen to you. So I want to give you a very, very powerful soul connection meditation. And if you don't love meditating, don't worry, don't freak out, don't turn this video off. Just think of meditation as more empowered focus on expansion. Don't think of it as like, oh, I can't think thoughts and I'm a terrible meditator. Don't think that way. But before we do the soul connection meditation, I want to let you know that you have a choice. You can decide if you're going to live from soul or if you're going to live from ego. I've already given you super powerful tools today, super powerful journal activities. In a very short amount of time, I've really broken it down for you. But I can't jump into your head and make you do it. You have a choice. Am I going to go toward the soul side of my nature, the part of me that wants to grow, wants to emerge? Am I going to focus on the things that make me feel more creative, more alive, more joyful, more expansive? Or am I going to live how most of the world lives and stay in a CNN type of mentality? You have that choice. So I told you at the very beginning of this that I wanted to give you something special. And here's the reason why. This is the space shuttle. The space shuttle, the one that looks like a plane, it's a very powerful ship. It can orbit the Earth and send back tons of information and go way out in the universe. Super powerful. And yet, the scientists at NASA get something. They got with the space shuttle that it couldn't get out of Earth's atmosphere because the gravitational pull of Earth's atmosphere is so strong that if they just sent the ship would come crashing back down to Earth. The pull is too strong. But they discovered if they put that big orange booster rocket onto the space shuttle, that it can easily get out of Earth's atmosphere because it has some structure and enough power to get past the atmosphere. You have a gravitational pull of the familiar because this Earth isn't set up for soul. This Earth is very much like I said, a fear-based thoughtmosphere, and that'll suck you right back in. You're going to get off this webinar, you turn on the TV and it's like, look at all the bad things that are happening, or even watching a television show. I'm not saying don't watch television. I'm just saying a lot of television shows I watch are like lots of drama and constriction. So if that's part of your atmosphere, you got to get a booster rocket on the part of you that wants to connect to soul. And that's why I am so happy to give you this invitation and this gift, which I'm about to share with you. And that is, I want to invite you into the 21-day soul connection adventure. Because when I say whatever you focus on expands, you might be thinking, well, what do I focus on to connect to my soul? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good question, because you could keep focusing on these journal activities and expansion and contraction, but that pull of Earth's familiar atmosphere, just how the world is wired, it's going to pull you back, and it's going to pull you back fast. And I know that. That's why I could never sustain the soul connection. So I wanted to give you something to focus on for the next 21 days. Not the next 21 days, actually, the first 21 days of 2022. So that you can start the year off really connected to that part of you that wants to go forward. The 21-day soul connection adventure is designed specifically for you to connect with the soul side of you daily, so that you can walk through the world with this deep confidence, with a faith and a knowing that you're more than this body. And what that will do is it will help you feel happy, peaceful, and more alive each and every day. Walking through the world, like Thoreau said, sucking the marrow out of life. So you don't just have to wait for a Disneyland trip or Christmas Day or a roller coaster ride to feel good. Like, I'm getting so passionate about this because you deserve to feel good every freaking hour of every day. I believe we were created for that. And us humans just got a little off track over the course of the centuries and haven't learned, but we can do it. I'm going to give you quick, easy practices to feel lit up with life and ready to take on the day every day. In this 21-day soul connection adventure, we're going to become together more aware of the infinite, because I want you to be and do and create and have and give anything you desire. And when you're really connected to the soul, that's how you're going to feel. Less and less stuff is going to get to you. Together, we will rise above the weight of the world and build a deep belief in the invisible side of the universe. You can't see energy. You can't see thoughts. You can't see feelings. You can't see the internet, and yet you believe in it because someone told you it's there. Let's get really deep into the invisible side of the universe. And you're going to feel connected and secure and part of a community of others who feel the way you do and are doing this adventure with you. So here's how it works. Every day, January 1st through 21st, you will receive a short video from me first thing in the morning. Short enough that while you're drinking your coffee, just quick, I'm going to give you a very powerful way to connect with your soul right there. They're short, they're powerful snapshots that will help you start the day deeply connected to your true self and spirit. And guess what? Once you're part of the adventure, you get lifetime access to these videos. So if you want to do this every 21 days for the rest of your life and just stay connected, that's going to be available to you. On January 22nd, we will have a powerful 2-hour soul connection workshop where I'm going to unpack the ultimate tools to not only sustain a powerful soul connection, but use that connection to live a life that you absolutely love living. Because once you are connected to your soul, you will feel happier, confident, peaceful, stronger than any circumstance. I've gotten to the point in my life where no matter what comes across my desk, it could be a tax bill, it could be something's bad, it could be a diagnosis, it could be the pandemic. And I'm like, it's cool because I'm spirit. I'm more than that. So good and so powerful to feel that way. I want you to feel that way. And you'll feel more ready to take action on the dreams that you have and the things you want to do to live life to the fullest. So you get, just as a recap, 21 daily soul connection videos with lifetime access to those videos. The 2-hour online workshop, a PDF workbook, because some of you are auditory, some of you are visual, some of you like to have something to read and highlight and mark up. You get a workbook that will have activities in it to do each day. You guys, I can't tell you the value of this. It's so powerful. And I'm going to give you a bonus manifesting meditation that my more clients in higher end, super intensive programs, I always give this meditation. It's the most powerful and they love it. So I thought I'm going to give it to you too. This is a total value, I believe, of at least $199. But I want to make this a no-brainer for you, like just a duh. Like, of course I want to do the soul connection adventure because my mission, as I said, is to help more people see that they're more than anything that they've known before, far more than you've known yourself to be. So I have made the investment for this just $39. That's it, 39 bucks. And we're going to do all this lifetime action, a lifetime access and lifetime action, live workshop, activities to do every day. This is such a no-brainer. Such a no-brainer. And if you're not willing to invest $39 in your soul connection, we're probably not a good fit to work together. Because it's $39 for a tank of gas. It's $39 for a dinner out. I can't think of something better. I would rather not drive my car and drive my soul. That's what I'm telling you. All right. So here's your opportunity to enroll. Go ahead and go to www.soulsavvy.org/soul-connection. https://www.soulsavvy.org/soul-connection. I think there's a button that you can click right now too that'll just take you right there. Go ahead and enroll. So let's do the soul connection meditation and then we'll bring this in for a landing. So close your eyes with me for a moment and take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again. And as you breathe here, I just want you to notice and bring an awareness to your ankles. And notice your calves. And notice your kneecaps. Notice your bottom. Notice your back. Notice your heart beating. Notice your shoulders. Notice the air on the backs of your hands and on your cheeks. As you keep breathing, bring your awareness to your thinking. Notice that you can notice your thinking. You're thinking thoughts right now. Maybe it's this webinar sucks, or I should have gone to the bathroom before I started this, or what time is it, or I have a to-do list. But don't judge the thoughts. Just breathe and notice that you're thinking something right now. Now notice your feelings. You might be feeling expanded, joyful, peaceful, sad, grieving, content, angry, curious. But just notice that you can notice your feelings. And then we're going to ask ourselves the most important question we could ask. Who is that? Who is that in me that can notice my body, notice my thoughts, and notice my feelings, and is more than that? Who is it that can notice that I'm noticing that I'm noticing? Who is this self that feels suspended above my body and can observe all of this and yet knows I'm more than that? I introduce you to your soul, the part of you that was with you long before you took this body and will be with you long after you lay this body down. This is a part of you that you can lean on day after day, week after week. It'll never lie to you. It's always there for you, and it's always expressing itself through expansion. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Open your eyes. Beautiful. Just notice how good you feel. So let's keep this connection going. Join me for the 21-day soul connection adventure. We're going to do this together every day. It'll be short blips, things you can do for a lifetime, workbook activities to do, no brainer, 39 buckaroos, and you're in. And we'll invest the month of January together, absolutely harnessing this power in us. So go ahead and click the button on this page or copy down this URL, and let's get moving on your soul connection. So I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes about the soul and about how to follow it. Jacob Nordby says, you know how every once in a while you do something and that little voice inside says, there, that's it. That's why you're here. And you get a warm glow in your heart because you know it's true. Do more of that. So let's not make it every once in a while. Let's start 2022 with this soul connection together. Mwah. All my love to you. Go ahead and enroll now, and I'll see you inside the Soul Connection adventure.